Well, let me start out by saying we thank everybody for being here, for taking the time to be a part of this. I think you're going to realize when this event is over here just shortly, it's going to be worth your time. Let me start out by saying that it's a pleasure to meet you all. I just wish that it was under different circumstances. We know the challenges y'all have been through. Maybe the biggest challenge you've ever been through. We know that you're still going through it, which is why we're here today. Let me tell you kind of generally how the process works in responding to a disaster like this, and then kind of bring you to the point of why we gather here today. When a massive flood or hurricane or fire, whatever the case may be, happens, there's one thing we focus on the most, and that is saving lives. And whether it be here in Tom Green County or down where Hunt, Texas is in Kerr County, we had rescue teams and operations working to save lives in the minutes the flood struck, lasting for days. And in fact, there are still some people missing, and we have more than 100 people out looking for those who are still missing. But if you just look at what was accomplished in the first few days, just state first responders alone, they were able to rescue and evacuate more than 8,000 people, making sure those lives were safe. After that, what the state does is we come in and work collaboratively with the local communities to make sure the local communities are going to be able to rebuild as quickly as possible. We provide them funding and assistance and personnel, all that kind of stuff. One easy example about a large funding item that we provide is for all of the debris removal. And one thing that may be the case here that will be reiterated by Chief Nimkid here in a second. If you have any debris in your residence, in your area, that you're aware of anywhere, because of a result of this, Chief Kidd right here is going to want to know about it today directly from you so we can continue that process. Then another thing that happens early on that I think everybody in this room stepped up and did. FEMA, so there's federal response, state response, and local response. And your local officials have done a superior job in responding to this disaster. I have not seen a city or a county respond as effectively as your local officials have right here. There's also a federal response. And you may have heard of the Federal Disaster Declaration, and you may have heard of this four-letter word, FEMA. And it's my understanding that everybody in this room, you registered with FEMA to let them know what your name is, some other identifying information, but importantly, what the damages are that you sustained to your property. And it was from that registry that we were able to obtain your names. Another thing that happens in the course of this, that happened in response to these devastating storms more than I think I've ever seen before. We have a lot of our fellow Texans step up and want to help out and make donations. There are a lot of donations that were made to what's called the Hill Country Community Foundation. There was another area of donations. Many of you here probably have heard of who George Strait is. George Strait did a benefit concert. And at the time that he did it to raise money for the people there in the Kerr County area, because he's very familiar with it. He has a place where he lives nearby there. And he wanted to make sure, for one, that he was able to put on a concert and raise money that would help those people out. But there was something else that he said was very important. He said that he wanted this money to get directly into the hands of the people who need it quickly. He didn't want it next year. He wanted it this year. And he wanted it to make sure it got to the people who really needed to rebuild their own home as quickly as possible. Well, when you look at all the money that both the George Strait Foundation, it's really not his foundation, it's called Vaqueros Del Mar is the name of it. But George was the lead performer for it. There were other performers there. And he helped organize it and raise it. And he has a passion for doing this and a mission. And that's to make sure you get help as quickly as possible. Anyway, they've helped everybody who had their primary residence damaged or destroyed over in Kerr County. And they had extra money. And so Chief Kidd and myself talked to their organization, saying, listen, we got people over here in Tom Green County. They need help also. And they said, you know what? That's right. And they wanted to help you. And so they looked at those who suffered the most damage, as well as those who may have the most challenges being able to pay for those damages. And all of you fall into that category. I want you to know, because like you may be neighbors or something like that with somebody else who got damages just like yourself, but they're not here. There are other people in this county who also are going to be receiving support, but they're just not here for whatever reason. Maybe they had to work, maybe they're out of town, whatever the case may be. But I'm glad that you're here. What's going to happen is I'm going to have Chief Kidd say a few words to you, explain a little bit more. They're going to be calling people up in alphabetical order, and we're going to hand you a check today. Everyone here is going to leave with a check to help you begin or continue the process of rebuilding your property. So this time, let me hand it over to Chief Kidd. He'll tell you a little bit more about what's going on, and then we'll start providing you the resources that you need.
Thank you, Governor. I want to say it's an honor to be here with you today. And I want to quickly thank, and this is something, you probably haven't watched the other events that we've done like this, but what I'm getting ready to say, I have not said at any other event. You have great local officials here that did a great job before, during, and after the storm. And so Judge Carter, Mayor Thompson, Sheriff Hanna, their teams, your local police, fire, your volunteer agencies that were out there, y'all had great support here. And I'm grateful to them. If you want to give them a round of applause, that's I know something else about this community. Big hearts, strong backs. You're a tough people. You are. And it's hard to ask for help. It is. I'm here to tell you there's a lot of people that want to help you. And you're going to see a taste of that today. All right? There's a lot of people here that want to help. But we also don't know what you need until you share that with us. And so my team and I are going to stay here with you until the last one of you leave today to make sure that we hear everything that you still need in order to get your life back to the place that you want it to be. As we start calling you out, we're going to have some folks help with the ushers. I would ask you take the nameplate that's with you and bring it up here. Our team will have you sign that you're here and that you received it and spend a little bit of time with the governor. And listen, you won't hurt my feelings if he asks you what you need and you tell him. Right? Now, if I've told him we've already done that and you tell him we haven't, that's probably a problem for me, but it's not a problem for you, okay? The governor mentioned debris. Your community was one of the very few in Texas that had pre-existing debris contracts. If you still have debris challenges, we want to know about those because our team is going to help. But the governor made very clear that the Texas legislature put money aside to help your community also with debris. FEMA will come in and pay for 75% of the debris, and the state is going to pick up the non-federal share of that 25% as well. So the governor worked really hard to make that happen. So I'm glad to be here with y'all today, and Governor, I think we're ready if you're ready.
Rodney?